All right, I'm going to go through this a little briefly, and just want to give you guys an idea that this is out there. Jared Tender goes through some of this um, in his book, and a couple of other psychology trading books, Trading in the Zone, talk about this a little bit. They may be a little bit differently worded. This was just a graphic that I took pretty much from the internet, just random Google. But I just think this is really important, so you can at least comprehend maybe potentially where you are. So unconscious incompetence means you don't even know what you don't know. Okay, this is someone who's brand new, who's just starting to trade, who is just ready and eager to make money. Okay, and they don't even realize how much they don't know. Okay, we've all been there. So we're all starting there and we've all been there. Okay, the next one is the conscious incompetence. Okay, this one pretty much means like you know that you don't know. Okay, and you know you have a long way to go. You know you need to learn. You know you need to practice, study, back test, paper trade. Start trying to pass combines, studying ICT, studying indicators if you so choose, different things like that, right? This is where a lot of traders currently are. Okay. Some of them are stuck between this red and yellow, and that can be a dangerous place to be because you think you're better than you are. Okay. Usually I deal with the opposite. A lot of times I deal with the fact that I am better than I think I am. And then that is where that causes me problems, right? Because I don't have that confidence I need sometimes when it should be there. Okay. When it's been earned and it's just not there. And I have to like kind of bolster that up sometimes, right? So a lot of people are stuck between that red and yellow phase. Okay. Conscious competence is where really we want to start striving to be, where we are aware that we know enough to be profitable. Okay. So that green area is where you're really going to start to see more consistency. Okay. It's where if you think about it like hard enough and you follow your plan and you work hard at it, you're going to be successful, right? Your plan's going to play out the way that you laid it out. Okay. And I say it that way because some people become really good and their plan is still gambling because that's what they've built their trading on. Okay. Um, I, and I definitely try not to do that. I try to build my trading on an actual business plan. All right. So that conscious competence means that you're aware that you're competent. Okay. That you know what you're doing. The unconscious competence is like top tier. Okay. These are the guys who go and they look at the chart and they're not even like thinking about it as much. They're just boom, they're in. There are times that I have like moved up into this blue a little bit and like just sitting at the chart and just doing my analysis and then realizing like cuz I was in a trade and it's not like it was on complete autopilot, but there was like almost no emotion. Of course, there's always emotion, but I was just relaxed and just like wasn't even having to think that much. I'm just like, yep, here's London. Yep, here we're above the 730 open. Yep, we've displaced down, created a fair value gap. Yep, we revisited it. I take my short. Hooray! I took it to the next you know level of liquidity lower and took my profit. Hoorah! Now, that does happen. Most of the time, not, but I have had that experience of being in there. I know traders who almost live in there daily, and some of my mentors definitely were on that level, and that's the level I'm striving to work towards. I want my decisions to be based off of like almost like a Navy SEAL who just trains in a specific area. So when he gets into a specific situation, boom, his plan, he just reacts. It's like, it's almost like the emotions are dead. Now, I do not believe in suppressing your trading emotions to the point that you don't feel them. I think that's unhealthy. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is the way some military trains is to they recognize their emotions, but they have specific like action plans that when they start to feel scared, they just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they go. And it's like, it's not that they don't feel the emotion anymore. It's just that the emotion no longer controls them and they are able to just execute the plan, right? And just execute what needs to be done. That's where we want to be. Okay. And that's going to take us to being, like consciously aware that we have a plan that needs to be followed. And at first, we're going to have to make ourselves follow that plan. Eventually it'll become unconscious. And sometimes it has for me, where it's like, I'm not like staring at my plan and saying, what's next? Step 2, check. Step 3. But I promise you, okay, until you start getting up into this green and upper blue, and I'm talking to myself here, I am not above this. You need to double check your plan. You need to make sure. Actually, I just made the video the other day that, showed where just I didn't mean to. I didn't follow my plan. I just jumped into the market because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make a quick few $100, and it didn't go so well. I mean, I didn't like lose everything, but it still hurt, because I was like, what are you doing, bro? And even if I had won during my train journaling time, I better had had a talk with myself about that. Okay. So these are the stages, and you kind of needed to decide where you are. If you're completely lost and you stare at the charts and you have no clue what to do, just recognize that that's where you are. And maybe you don't trade for a little while. Maybe you spend just a little bit of time, a little bit of extra time um, on some training. Okay. And on the charts, not trading, but on the charts, marking out fair value gaps, marking out liquidity levels, looking at session highs, session lows, watching price action. There is nothing wrong with staring at the charts and not trading, analyzing price action, analyzing how we're reacting to certain fair value gaps, paying attention if we're in premium or discount zones, things like that. Okay. It's amazing stuff. All right. Once you start to move up and you're in that green zone, okay, just because a Navy SEAL swims his laps the way he's supposed to in the time that he's asked to doesn't mean he stops. Okay, he keeps trading. He keeps trading. So keep that in mind, all right? I'm sorry, he keeps training. We're talking about trading, training, all right? So that Navy SEAL is going to keep practicing. He's going to keep swimming. And that's what we need to do. Even once we get to the point where we're like, man, I feel really competent in what I'm doing. And, I've kind of gotten a good handle on my emotions. And that's probably where I'm at, right? And I'm wanting that unconscious competence where I am just like, not a robot, because I don't want to live to be a robot. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to be emotionless sitting in front of the charts with drool out coming out of my mouth and I'm just clicking, making money. All right. I mean, that sounds good in a sense, but that's not reality. Reality is that, I just want to be on the charts to where it just almost feels like nothing to trade. Okay. Now, I've had days like that, and it is nice to trade in the zone, as the book says, and it feels good. It feels real good. Now, you got to be careful once you enter that zone. I think what happens is sometimes you get almost too elite mindset to where you can't mess up. So it's like, this trade's going to win because you're taking it, not because your plan says it should, right? So then that's where you have to remind yourself, or the market will remind you that you don't know everything and that losing is a part of it, right? Best Loser Wins. Great book. All right, so that's these 4 stages, and I just think it'd be good for you to just take a minute and just kind of decide where you are in these stages, so that way you can have some just some open honesty. I mean, if you just realize like how incompetent you are, don't let that get you down. Seriously, that's a good thing. Recognizing where you are, if you're in this red and you're like, man, I don't even know what I don't know. If you can recognize that, then guess what? You just graduated. Now you're in the yellow. Now you know, now's the time to train. Now's the time to read some books. Now's the time to watch the charts and paper trade and practice. And okay, that's the time to go do that. Okay. And a lot of times that yellow, it's a pretty long road. Okay. I've literally seen people do it in 6 months, and I was so jealous. I'm like, you serious? Like, took me years. Okay. And a lot of what it was is it took me years because I was running down the wrong path. I was training the wrong things, and I was involved in groups who would just like throw a signal out there and wouldn't even tell you why. They're just like, bye. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's where I'm like, I don't even know what I don't know. That's where I lived in that red for a long time. Once I moved to the yellow and started realizing that I don't know certain things, that I need to learn them and I need to train things. And it's not just reading the charts. Technical analysis is very important, but it is not the end all be all. If it was only technical analysis, most traders would be absolutely just gnarly. They would just make, I mean, it would just be uncapped, okay, how much money they would make. But it's not all about technical analysis. That's a small part of it. Technical analysis, risk management, your trading psychology, your actual plan. Are you planned correctly? Are you switching from Bitcoin to Nas to Doge? Just like randomly jumping from chart to chart. I feel like trading forex today. Really? Yeah, I'm gonna trade euro and JPY in the USD afternoon. It's like, why would you do that? What do you mean? Well, that's not the right times to trade that forex. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yet again, now we can take a look at where you are on the charts, right? Um, so this is just really important. Just take a moment, consider where you are, and just remember, if you realize that you're in the red, that means you've moved to the yellow and you're moving up, and that's a fantastic thing. Okay, and our goal is really to, in my opinion, to sway between this green and blue. I would be very happy there. Most of the time, I live in the green, and I'm able to do well, and it's a great thing. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the Discord.